Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Welcome to our Lispot studio. I'm Kosin Dumela, your librarian. I'm with Dr. Nkosi today. Dr. Nkosi is going to introduce to us her music class project. Over to you, Doc. How are you feeling today?
I'm good, thank you, and thank you for the introduction. I'm Dr. Nkosi from the Odayan School of Music. I am lecturing music education modules, and today we're here with second years music education students to do an assessment. But we want to do it as a form of a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So we want to say thank you to the LesPod team for assisting us with this assessment. So we'll be doing a podcast about the different benefits of music. So for advocacy purposes. So yes, that's why we are here today.
Okay. Hope you will have fun. I believe students are already excited about this.
Yes. They look very ready and excited.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jada Kluter, and I will be interviewing my classmate, Cornelie Roche.
Yes.
And and today we will be discussing how music education can help with cognitive development. Okay, so what is cognitive development? So cognitive development is essentially any child's ability to think, learn, remember, and solve problems, and therefore it encompasses aspects like mental processing, like memory, perception, language, and reasoning.
Okay, so how can music education help with cognitive development?
So Jada, there's multiple ways that it can help with this. The first I want to talk about is executive function. Executive function is essentially our mental skills that help us plan, organize, prioritize, and manage tasks in a way that help us achieve our goals. Okay. So there was a study done in 2011 on aged 4 to 6 children. They all received 20 days of computerized music training. And after this 20 days, they did a test and they found that these children had 15% improved executive function tasks compared to the control group. Another study in 2014 found that musically trained children scored higher on tests on cognitive flexibility, verbal fluency than non-musicians.
Sure.
And then music education can also help with maths and spatial reasoning. Maths I don't need to explain. 1 + 1 is 2. And then spatial reasoning, so map skills, anything that helps us visualize, understand, and manipulate objects and their relationship in space. So there was a study done in 1997 that showed that after 8 months of piano lessons, preschool children scored 34% higher on spatial temporal reasoning tests.
34.
Yes, 34.
Oh,
it's a
wow.
lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Than those who took computer or singing classes. So in this case, my mom, who is a music teacher, piano teacher, would be right. Piano is superior in this case. And then in 2004, there was another study conducted on 144 6-year-olds, and they found that their IQ scores had increased by 7 points after just 1 year of music lessons compared to 4.3 points in the control group. And then music can also increase auditory processing and language development. In 2013, they found that high school students with musical training had faster neural timing responses by 0.25 milliseconds when processing speech sounds compared to non-musicians. And then another study in 2008, they showed that musically trained children performed significantly better on tasks measuring verbal memory and reading skills. We're getting the point. There's a lot that music education can do for our cognitive development. Almost there. I think we're getting to like my favorite part now. Music education can actually change the structure of our brains. Sure. I find this pretty cool. But after 15 months of weekly Suzuki music lessons, 6-year-olds had increased volume in motor and auditory brain regions compared to the control group. And then they also found that professional musicians had 5 to 15% more gray matter volume in areas related to motor control, hearing, and spatial coordination. There's also some studies that I didn't pull up now, but that show that music and music education can help with dementia and Alzheimer's, memory-related problems. Yeah. And then obviously music is a form of expression. It's an art. So it can help with our emotional and social development. To pull up an experience of my own, it was a year ago, I went to a festival and I was put in this ensemble group. And there were 2 first violins, and they were constantly fighting about who was the first violin and who should be leading.
Typical of string players, by the way.
That's why I play viola. And I found myself in the position of trying to calm them down and diffuse the situation constantly. But it really taught me a lot about how to handle social situations and stuff. But science also has some stuff to say on this. They found that older adults with 10 or more years of music training performed 21% better on tests of verbal memory and executive functioning than those without. So verbal memory and executive functions does actually have to do with social development. We need these things to interact with people around us. And then in 2013, there was another study done, and they found that 3 months of group music games on children between 8 and 11 exhibited increased empathy scores compared to the control group.
Okay, so how does music education improve neurogenesis? And can you just explain a bit what neurogenesis is for the people who don't know?
So neurogenesis is essentially the process where new neurons are formed in the brain. Before I go into this is very difficult to study on humans. And so a lot of the studies I'm going to mention, I think except one, was done on mice or rats. But because mice and rats are quite similar to people in many ways, we can assume... Yes, sometimes we do scavenge for food, especially if you live on campus at res. But anyway, in science, they are similar. We can assume that a lot of the findings here are still relevant to people.
Okay.
So the first way that music can help with neurogenesis is in the hippocampus. The hippocampus is the part of our brain responsible for memory. And in a study by Fukui and Toyoshima, they found that mice who were exposed to Mozart's Piano Sonata K448 for 12 hours daily over 10 days had 30% increased newly generated neurons in the hippocampus compared to the control mice. Then music education can also increase our brain-derived neurotrophic factor, also known as BDNF. BDNF is a protein which is crucial for neurogenesis, learning, and synaptic plasticity. So in human studies this time, they found that listening to music that we like can increase BDNF levels by 6 to 15%. And then another study in 2008 showed that stroke patients who listened to music for 2 hours had higher BDNF expression than those who did not. And then music can also decrease stress, which helps with neurogenesis indirectly, because stress increases cortisol levels, and higher cortisol levels result in lower neurogenesis, if that makes sense.
Okay. So more stress, less learning.
Essentially,
okay,
cool. Less being able to cope with life in general.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we know this, but... they found that cortisol levels was reduced by 20 to 25% if you listen to music, relaxing classical music.
Okay.
So there's still hope for classical music out there. It's not quite dying.
Okay, so does music education improve academic performance?
Yes, the money-making question. Yes, it does. I did mention before that there was a study done on 6-year-olds, 144 of them, where their IQ was increased by 7 points across a year compared to the control group, which only increased by 4.3 points. Okay. So that study definitely proved that music education can improve academic performance. There was another study done in America that showed that students involved in music would have 22% higher English marks and 20% higher in maths, which is quite significant. And then they also found that children with musical training performed 17% better on verbal memory tests than those without. And then there's also cases of music students outperforming their peers in academic exams. There was a study done in University of British Columbia that found that students who participated in music classes scored an average of 1 academic year ahead of their peers in English, math, and science. So essentially, if I were in grade 11, I would have the brain of a matric.
Wow. Okay. How has music education impacted your cognitive development?
The first one, I would say I have a very strong sense of internal rhythm and beat. I'm going to sound a bit stupid now, but I run, and a large part of running is you have to find a pace and a rhythm in your run in order to be able to run for long distances and save energy. And I think that's probably one of my strong suits in running. But random example, but anyway, I think I'm also very good at problem solving, which music has taught me. I have this kind of motto: if something doesn't work, try it another way. Don't keep like flying into the window like a fly. Just don't. I know we're not flies, but still, there are people who do that. I think music, if you struggle with a phrase or something, or it just keeps going wrong, try it a new way. Stop, think, how can I do it differently? Try it a new way. And then music has really taught me to break things down into bite-sized chunks. Often we get big pieces and then we feel overwhelmed, and then we just have to break it down bar by bar, piece by piece, until we get to the end. And music has also taught me to be very systematic in the way I approach life. And so I do think personally also music development has shaped the way I approach life and the way I think about life. So,
Oh, wow. That was so insightful. Thank you so much.
thanks for having me and listening to my fun facts.
Hello, and welcome to Harmony and Health, the podcast where we explore the connection between music and wellness.
Your hosts today are myself, Zoe Willemse, and
Jada Klute.
and today we're going to dive deep into how music influences our overall well-being and its therapeutic uses, and why it's such a vital part of human health.
Whether you're a music lover or just interested in the science behind it, this episode is for you. So let's get started.
First, let's talk about wellness.
What exactly is wellness?
Wellness is more than just the absence of illness. It's a holistic state of physical, mental, and emotional well-being. It includes how we feel, how we cope with stress, and how we engage with the world around us.
Now, where does music fit into this?
So, numerous studies have shown that music has a profound effect on our overall well-being. For example, research published in a journal of positive psychology found that people who listen to music regularly report higher levels of happiness and lower levels of stress. And another research that was done early in this year by Dr. Nkosi and Dr. Gordon from the University of the Free State specifically highlighted that music using African drumming, which is a non-Western method of healing, can reduce cortisol levels, which is a hormone associated with stress, that personally helped me feel relaxed and felt more balanced.
Music is also a healthy coping mechanism. When life gets tough, many of us turn to music to process emotions, find comfort, and simply escape for a while. It's a tool that can help us regulate mood, reduce anxiety, and even improve our sleep quality.
And to add on to the workshop, we were both at the workshop. So, how I felt after that workshop, I felt really relaxed, releasing all my frustrations in the drums. So, how did you feel after the workshop, Jada?
It was so cool. I learned so much about the drumming and the tradition behind it. But I so relate to you, like drumming and then feeling so calm afterwards.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, you might have heard of music therapy, but have you came across medical ethnomusicology? Let's clarify the difference quickly.
Okay.
So, to my understanding, music therapy is a clinical practice where trained therapists use musical interventions to address physical, emotional, and cognitive, as well as social needs of individuals. It's evidence based and often used in hospital rehabilitation centers and mental health clinics.
Medical ethnomusicology, on the other hand, is an interdisciplinary field that studies how different cultures use music for healing and wellness. It explores traditional and indigenous musical practices and their role in health from a cultural perspective. While music therapy is more clinical and standardized, medical ethnomusicology values the cultural context and the diversity of musical healing practices worldwide.
So, switching gears a little bit, let's talk about the digitalized emotion of Gen Z. So, studies show that Gen Zs experience higher rate of depression, overstimulation,
Yeah.
stress, and anxiety compared to previous generations. So, I think the constant barrier between digital information, social media pressure, and the fast pace of modern life contributes to all of this.
Music plays a unique role here. For many young people, music is a refuge, a way to express feelings when it's hard to articulate otherwise. Streaming platforms and social media has made music more accessible than ever before, allowing Gen Z to curate personalized soundtracks to their emotional lives, which I can relate to. However, stimulation from the digital media sometimes makes it harder to find calmness, which is
That's
why
true.
mindfulness listening and music based coping strategies are becoming increasingly important.
That's true. So now let's explore the spiritual side of music. Across cultures, music has been a bridge between spiritualities and connections. Traditional and indigenous music often carries deep spiritual significance that are used in rituals, ceremonies, and as well as healing practices. These musical traditions are not just art forms, they are ways to connect with God, ancestors, and the nature itself. Because when words fail, all you need to do is listen.
To feel connected.
That's true.
Yeah. Similarly, religious music, from Gregorian chants to gospel, Negro spirituals, and koortjies, bahayas, and qawwali, serves to uplift, inspire, and create a sense of community and transcendence. The spiritual connection through music can foster a profound sense of peace, belonging, and well being.
That's so true.
So, going back to the Gen Z,
Yes.
the technological generation relies on digitalized music. Older generations have relied on religious and communal music. I think that means that the coming generations will rely on music in their own context. Generations Alpha and Beta have more and early exposure to a wider range of music, including social media, music education in the school system, and community projects. It's only natural that it would have a greater influence on them.
That is true. And to add to that, I believe that music should be a core subject in primary schools alongside English and mathematics because music is increasingly recognized as a valuable tool for children to explore. And providing them this opportunity in primary schools can give them an opportunity to actually decide if they want to study music further.
And they have an advantage because they had early exposure to it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Think about it, when listening to enjoyable music, research shows that it triggers the release of dopamine,
Yes.
the neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward in our brain. This response is similar to when we experience eating our favorite food or doing pleasurable activities. Music can also stimulate the release of serotonin and oxytocin, linked to happiness and connection, and endorphins, which is the body's natural painkillers.
So just imagine the pure joy and excitement on children's faces when they get to learn their favorite song on their favorite instrument. Like it will be challenging because for us as music students, it is challenging to practice our pieces, but like we are always motivated and we never try. I mean, we never give up. That's what I mean to
We
say.
never tried to give up.
There we go.
Resilience. So, how does this relate to music or to our well-being? How does music relate to our well-being overall? Music engages multiple areas of the brain, including emotion, memory, and motor control. This can stimulate the release of dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitter, helping to elevate mood and motivation. Music encourages social bonding
Yes.
and reduces feelings of loneliness, which can foster a sense of belonging. I'm thinking about the UFS choir when speaking about the social bonding.
Yes.
Not just the choir itself, but at their performances, the amount of students that come and watch their performances, there's so much pride in the fact that they are performing and that
Of course.
they are
yes.
part of our university. Yeah.
So, music also has a remarkable effect when it comes to healing the brain. Studies using neuroimaging have shown that music therapy can promote neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to recognize itself and form new connections. So, this is particularly beneficial for individuals that are recovering from diseases like strokes or brain injuries. Additionally, soldiers also used music therapy um, to overcome the trauma that they experienced during wars. Like many militarians across the globe actually use these type of music interventions because research has shown that music can enhance your speech, motor skills, and your cognitive function by activating and strengthening your neural pathways.
Oh, wow. Now, let me ask you when you feel down, do you find that music helps to change your mood?
Oh, definitely.
And for the most of us, the answer is a resounding yes. Whether it is a soothing melody to calm anxiety or an upbeat song to boost energy, music has the power to shift our emotional state almost instantly.
Definitely. So, to wrap everything up, music is more than just entertainment. It's a vital part of our wellness toolkit. From clinical therapy to cultural traditions,
Yes.
from digital coping strategies to spiritual connections, music touches every aspect of our well being. So, next time you're feeling stressed or low, try turning on your favorite song and see how it moves you.
Oh, yes. And thank you for joining us on Harmony and Health. Keep playing music and take care of your well being.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, welcome to Whose Music Matters. I am Indipile Mkushelo, a pianist and violinist, and also someone who is deeply connected to the rhythm of where I come from.
And I'm Jamie, a pianist and a second-year music student, and someone who's still figuring out her cultural roots, her relationship with her cultural roots. I'm from a colored family in the Eastern Cape, and although I had access to music training from a really young age, I never really encountered any in my own background.
And that's exactly what we're here to talk about today, how music education can be more inclusive and what it means to truly see yourself in what you're learning.
We'll be sharing personal stories, asking big questions, and discussing some of the contradictions we've personally faced as music students in South Africa. So, we'll start there. Indy, what got you into music?
So for me, music started from a very young age, whether it was my family just singing happy birthday to someone and we would be harmonizing, or since we have a number of traditional healers in my family, there we would have a drum beating in the background while we sing or rather chant and doing our traditional dances, which is ukhensa, to me listening to music in the car with my father whenever he would pick me up from school. And yeah, after that, I eventually realized that our school does have a music program, so I decided to join it.
For me, the focus was more on the formal side of music training. So ABRSM exams, choir festivals, where your progress is based on certificates and grades and rather not the organic way to which you were exposed to it. On one hand, I am genuinely grateful for it. It gave me like a good sense of discipline and also like a solid technical foundation. However, through my experience, there's not much focus on, like, I don't know too much about my own identity and my own roots and my own heritage with regards to music.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. I stepped into the classroom and had to learn a completely different musical language. It felt a little bit like I had to leave a part of myself at the door.
It's such a strange tension. Like you're learning this universal art form, this universal language, but yet you find yourself thinking, is there space for my voice in this whole field?
Exactly. And it's not about rejecting what's already there, it's about broadening the table. There's room for everything.
Thinking back to the music curriculum that we followed, I realized that we didn't really explore local composers until much later, and even then it was only briefly. It wasn't something I questioned at the time, but now I do find myself wondering why that part of my musical heritage, why that part of our musical heritage wasn't present from the start.
Same, most of the focus was on European composers, which isn't inherently bad, but it does make you wonder, what are you saying about who gets to be called great? Is Miriam Makeba not great because her
We
music
don't
isn't
know.
there or it's not very well
We don't
known?
study it.
Yes. Is Umadosini not great because her music couldn't be written down on sheet music? Yeah.
Exactly. And the whole thing is not about removing Bach, removing Debussy, for example, but it's about including these composers, like as you said, Madosini, Miriam Makeba, also people like Abdullah Ibrahim and Satima Beya Benjamin, in that exact same space as which, with the same amount of respect as we would with Bach or Beethoven.
And when students don't see their heritage represented, it creates this quiet message that their musical history is secondary or optional.
And it definitely like affects our confidence. Like you sit there and you think, is my heritage not important enough to be in a concert hall? Is my heritage not important enough to be studied as like to the extent to which we study the more forerunners in classical music?
Yeah. And we don't really need to erase anything. We just need to expand, make space for more stories, more ways of expressing what music actually is.
Well, then, when we discuss this, we're going to have to discuss the role of teachers. Like they hold so much power in shaping how students experience music.
Definitely. I've had teachers who encouraged me to explore my own personal style, and some who, maybe without even realizing, discouraged anything outside the syllabus, especially when it came to my studying piano. With piano, it was always strictly Bach, Mozart, Beethoven, those kinds of composers. Whereas with some of with the violin teacher that I have, she allows me to explore the type of music that I want to get into and the type of music that I will be using the most as someone that is a musician in South Africa.
Like that's the whole point. Like the best educators are the ones who stay curious, the ones who aren't afraid of admitting, you know what, I don't know, but let's figure it out together. Like something as simple as what do you like playing, what do you like listening to be able to incorporate that into your own personal experience. Like it's just like small things like that that can like foster connection.
Yeah. And I even had a lecturer this year, actually. She's a new piano teacher. And instead of just handing me Mozart's music and telling me, okay, this is what you have to play, she gave me the space to play the music that I would like to play, which is jazz. I enjoy playing jazz quite a lot. So she actually asked me, what kind of music do you enjoy listening to? What kind of music do you enjoy playing? Which gave me the space to lead. And that completely changed how I saw myself in the room.
Like it just shows how like small shifts in approach can have like such a big impact. Like it's not just like it's about giving permission and trust and having an open environment.
Yeah, or even just asking, what music do you love? That question opens so many doors.
Well, then one of the bigger issues when it comes to diversity and inclusivity in music is access. Not just financially, but through experience as well.
Yeah, access isn't about money, although money is a big factor. Like, I'm going to use myself as an example. We didn't grow up in a big house. So, my mom was also studying in university when I started playing my instrument. So, I would have to practice, but she'd be in her room studying. So, I'd just go to the garage to practice, or I enjoyed going to the bathroom, as strangely as that sounds. I enjoyed practicing in the bathroom, and that taught me about the acoustics. So it showed me the difference between playing in my room, playing in the garage, and playing in the bathroom. It showed me how acoustics can make a difference. And it also helped me with like trying to learn pieces on my own, trying to learn songs that I like. So I would basically practice by listening to music that I enjoy listening to. And that really helped me with developing my ear.
Now, you see, that's really impressive. And I love how there's two different perspectives on this because for me, I have always had access to anything that I needed practice, a space to practice, constant lessons. But even with all of that, I didn't have the resourcefulness to be able to create like, or to be able to work on certain things that you have. Like, there are certain things that you through that learn to work on and improve that I never really needed to. So right now, like, I still don't know. Like, it's something I have to learn at like an older stage in life.
That's why I think institutions should meet the students where they are and then walk with them forward, not expect everyone to arrive the same way.
So if we dream for a bit, what would your ideal music class look like?
So my ideal music class would basically be a class where we all get together. Like in our class right now, our music education class, there are people from different cultures. So it would be amazing to have each of us teaching each other about our cultures. South Africa is a very diverse country. There are so many different cultures, different religions. So teaching each other about our cultures and the music that we have in our cultures would be an amazing class. I would want to be the first person to arrive for every single class. Don't look at me like
Scary
that.
coming from you. But like to add on to that, I also think that progress shouldn't be measured through performance, but also through like reflection and like collaboration between each other, and also innovation where we can all sit and think about ways in which we can improve this and make it more culturally diverse for everyone.
Exactly. Imagine a final exam where you get to create a piece that blends your personal cultural differences and influences with something that you learned in class. That's education with heart.
I also think that, like with, for example, like a music history or musicology class, I feel like the local legends should be explored to the same depth and enthusiasm as they do with Mozart and other classical giants. I feel like there's so much rich history and amazing stories right in our own backyards, but they don't get the attention that they deserve. Bringing those voices into the curriculum can make music more relatable and inspiring for everyone.
It's about the balance, yes. Students should graduate feeling empowered, not edited.
What I'd really like to see is like mentorship programs that connect students with musicians from different cultural backgrounds. Having someone who shares your story or your perspective on life can be such a powerful source of inspiration and guidance.
And concert programs that look like the world we live in, diverse, rich, and real. Yeah.
So, what was your biggest takeaway from this conversation, Indy?
That our music is powerful. Our stories are powerful. And that we don't really need to shrink them to fit into someone else's structure.
And I think that so many of us are still in the process of like reconnecting with our own roots, both musically and culturally. That's why I think it's important to create a space that allows for that journey within education. It's not just about adding diverse content, it's about making room for people to explore who they are through the music that they learn and get to create.
Yes, music is a universal language, yes. But the dialect matters, the rhythm matters, and so does the context.
Like, it's important to preface, like, this conversation isn't about canceling anything. It's about completing the picture. It's neither either or. It's about painting with more colors, adding more voices, adding more stories, so that the full richness of our musical landscape can come through.
Yes, and to anyone listening, your voice, your sound, and your culture, everything belongs here. It belongs with us in our classrooms, and it belongs in the story. It deserves to be a part of the story.
Thank you for joining us on Whose Music Matters. Let's keep the conversation going and maybe the rhythm too. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to these recordings from the music education students. As you've heard, that they were doing a diplomacy about the importance of music for well-being and for cognitive development, as well as for social justice and cultural identity. So you've heard from the students themselves. Therefore, we would like you to support music programs, support community music programs, and also be part of the music that keeps us going in our daily lives. Thank you so much.